A few years ago, we did a survey. I think we got about 3,000 agents to respond. And the survey had a lot of questions about the best practices for creating CMAs and listing presentations, right? So I picked 3 questions out of that survey that I thought was kind of interesting, and we'll go through them now, right? So the first one was, what is the minimum number of comps that you want to include in a CMA? Of all the 3,000 agents that responded, what did they say was the minimum number of comps they included in a CMA? 5, right? So think about that when you're creating your next CMA, that most people are saying 5 is the minimum they would put in there. You might be more, you might be less, whatever. Second question I have here is, what is the maximum number of comps that they want to include in their CMA, right? So what's the maximum number of comps, not the minimum, the maximum? And the survey came back at 11. So 11 was the number the people said is the number of comps that they want to include in their CMA. The third question, I was always curious, like, when did real estate agents create CMAs? Is it a day before? Is it an hour before? I think, so we asked that question, when are you creating your CMA before a listing presentation? I broke it down to be, I think the last unit we had was 6 hours. So how many people are creating CMAs 6 hours or less before their listing presentation, right? So what is the percentage of agents who create a CMA 6 hours or less before the listing presentation? And that came back to about 22%, right? So about a quarter of you don't make your CMA until about 6 hours before your listing presentation. Again, maybe some useful information for you to think about when you're creating your next CMA, but hope you found that interesting. Happy listings.